Multiple sclerosis is a disease that attacks the central nervous system. It often leaves a person disabled in some form. Myelin, a fatty substance that covers and protects the nerve fibers in the central nervous system, is attacked by the body's defense system. Damaged myelin forms scar tissue on the brain. Scar tissue, also known as sclerosis, is what gives it its name. When the nerve fiber or myelin sheath is damaged or destroyed, the impulses traveling to and from the brain and spinal cord are interrupted, producing a variety of symptoms. There are 4 types of MS, ranging from mild, moderate, to severe. Relapsing remitting is defined as attacks of worsening neurologic function. Relapses, flare-ups, or exacerbations are attacks experienced with this form. They are followed by partial or complete recovery periods when no disease progression occurs. It is estimated that 85% of people are first diagnosed with this form. Primary progressive is characterized by slowly worsening neurologic function from the start. Progression may vary over time with occasional plateaus and temporary minor improvements. About 10% of people are diagnosed with this form. Secondary progressive starts out as relapsing remitting, then worsens more steadily with or without flare-ups, minor recoveries, or plateaus. Approximately 50% of people with relapsing remitting developed this form within 10 years before medications were discovered. Progressive relapsing is the rarest form, where people experience steadily worsening disease from the beginning and experience clear attacks of worsening neurologic function. The disease continues to progress without remissions, while a person may or may not experience some recovery with these relapses. This form only occurs to 5%. The cause of multiple sclerosis is still unknown. Scientists are studying a combination of several factors that may be involved. Immunologic theory is that MS involves an autoimmune process, which is an abnormal response to the body's immune system that is against the myelin in the central nervous system. Environmental theory shows it is more frequent in people that live further away from the equator. Scientists are looking at many points, including variations, geography, demographics, genetics, infectious causes, and migration patterns. The migration patterns are studied because if a person is born in an area with a higher risk, but moves to an area with a lower risk before the age of 15, they adapt to a lower risk area. Infectious theory says it is possible for MS to be triggered by exposure to numerous viruses, bacteria, and other microbes during childhood. More than a dozen viruses and bacteria, including measles, canine distemper, human herpes virus 6, Epstein-Barr, and Chlamydia pneumonia, are being looked at to determine if they are involved in the development of MS. Genetic theory involves the research of someone with a parent or sibling with MS. This increases their risk of developing MS so much more than a person that does not have a relative with it. Some scientists believe that MS is developed because a person is born with a genetic predisposition to react to some environmental factor that triggers an autoimmune response when exposed to it. Multiple sclerosis is thought to affect more than 2.5 million people worldwide, 400,000 in the U.S. MS is significantly more common in men than women by 2 to 3 times. Most people are diagnosed within the ages of 20 to 50. However, it can show up in young children and teens, even much older adults. The disease tends to hit harder on people diagnosed after 50, primarily affecting their ability to walk. Genetics affects MS in a major way. In the everyday world, the risk of developing MS is 1 in 750. The risk rises to 1 in 40 if they have a parent, sibling, child, or close relative with MS. The risk for identical twins is 1 in 4. MS affects most ethnic groups, although it is found more in Caucasians with Northern European ancestry. African Americans, Asians, and Hispanic Latinos can also develop the disease. Location seems to affect people who live farther from the equator. Scientists are studying if increased exposure to sunlight and the vitamin D the equator provides may have a protective effect. The disruption of nerve signals produces the symptoms of MS, which vary from person to person, but also depends on where the damage is. There are some symptoms that are much more common than others: fatigue, numbness, walking, balance, coordination problems, bladder dysfunction, bowel dysfunction, vision problems, dizziness, vertigo, sexual dysfunction, pain, cognitive function, emotional changes, depression, and spasticity. There are less frequent symptoms that also occur in MS: speech disorders, swallowing problems, headache, hearing loss, seizures, tremors, respiration, breathing problems, and itching. Secondary Secondary problems are complications that can arise as a result of the primary symptoms. Bladder dysfunction can cause repeated urinary tract infections. Inactivity can result in loss of muscle tone and disuse, weakness, poor postural alignment, and trunk control, decreased bone density, and shallow, inefficient breathing. Immobility can lead to pressure sores. There is no cure for MS at this time. However, effective strategies are available to modify the disease course, treat attacks, relapses, or flares, manage symptoms, improve function and safety, and provide emotional support. There are 6 FDA-approved disease-modifying agents that can reduce disease activity and progression for many individuals with relapsing forms of MS, including those with some secondary progressive that continue to have relapses. Navenix, betaseron, Copaxone, and Rebif are 4 types of shots. Mivintran is chemotherapy and Testedra is intravenous.